Hello first graders, welcome to a new social study lesson. Please get your Our Community and Beyond book and let's start. We will be starting lesson 3, page 32, American Heroes. So let's read together. The essential question, how do people show character and what do you think? So over here, in this lesson, you will read stories about Americans who have shown good character. So character means showing honesty, courage, and or responsibility. So people were brave, people show good quality of their traits, like how people can describe them. And they being honest, they being brave, they being responsible, and respecting to others. For this lesson, we will look at the left here, these words. We'll try to see these words when we read the rest of the lesson. So we have character, honesty, courage, responsibility. All right. You will read stories about Americans who have shown good character. Character means showing honesty, courage, or responsibility. Honest Abe. Abraham Lincoln believed in hard work and honesty. As a young man, Abraham helped his father work on their farm. He chopped wood, planted crops, and carried water. Abraham was a good farmer, but he had other dreams. So he was a good boy. He was helping his dad. He worked in different jobs. So first, if I ask what's the word character means, it's highlighted in yellow here. Means traits that describe people. So being honest or being brave, being responsible. Okay, and then we also see that Abraham Lincoln was believing in hard work. So he was a hard young man, working hard, helped his father, and did lots of work. And we see part of what he did in this page. On the farm, he chopped wood, planted crops, carried water. Abraham was a good farmer, but he has a dream. Let's go to the next page. When Abraham grew up, he left his father's farm. Abraham had many jobs. He worked on a boat moving goods and people. He was a soldier. He ran a post office and worked at a store. Abraham enjoyed working in the store. One day, Abraham charged a customer too much money. He walked many miles to return the customer's change. From that day on, Abraham was known as Honest Abe. So there was a little story in this book that Abraham, first he worked in different jobs. First, he was helping his dad by doing a farm job. So he was chopping the wood, planted crops, and carried water. But he has a dream. So when he grew up, he left his dad's farms and did different jobs. So he worked on a boat, moving goods and people. And then he was a soldier. After that, he worked in a post office and he worked in a store. He was well known with his honesty. And the reason behind that a little story happened. He was in a store and he accidentally charged extra money from a customer. So he walked miles just to return this amount. And since then, people called him as Honest Abe. So this is like a little sketches explaining how this happened. Good morning, Mrs. Appleby. How can I help? So he's in a store and someone walked in to buy some stuff. Good morning, Mr. Lincoln. I'd like flour, wheat, sugar, beans, rice, and tea. So that's her list. Oh, and don't forget the honey this time. All right. So as you see in the second picture, he got everything and he was trying to calculate. So there was no calculation, there was no cash register. So he was, as you see, he put his hands in his head, tried to count how much he should charge Mrs. Appleby. Applebee. Well, that's the last of it. That's all. That's all be $1.35. Oh, thanks, Mr. Lincoln. I'll be back next month. So she paid the money and she took her grocery and left. But Honest Abe was like, oh no, I charged Mrs. Appleby 3 extra cents. I must do the honest thing and return her change. So all what he had extra, he made a mistake, accidentally added 3 cents. 3 cents. But he said, I must do the honest thing. And that's what he did. He walked all the way miles to reach her house and return the 3 cents back. All right. So now we know that Abraham has different jobs. So let's say together, he was a farmer. He worked on a boat to ship people or carry people and goods. He was a soldier. He worked in a post office, and he also worked as a store. And we saw the story with the extra change that he accidentally did not pay, but he walked all the way just to pay and return back the extra 3 cents. All right. Use the text features. A title helps you understand what you will read. What do the titles American Heroes and Honest Abe tell you about Abraham Lincoln? So when you look at this, and the title was American Heroes, and then after that, here. And then over here, Honest Abe. What do you think this will help you? Tell you about Abraham Lincoln, that he was an honest person. Everyone trusted him, and because they know that he was an honest person, and he was also helpful to others. Okay, so let's try to write over here. Why you think it's important for the title to show you American Heroes and Honest Abe? Tell about Abraham Lincoln that he was an honest man and that everyone trusts him. Okay, so everyone trusted him because he showed courage, that he didn't say, oh, I made a mistake, now they're gonna make fun of me, they think I don't know how to calculate or how to do my math. Nope, he did not think this way. He thought of the most important thing, that he has to do the right thing, and then the right thing, which he has to go and return the exchange, the change back to the lady. Okay. Okay, let's turn the page and go to page 34. President Abraham Lincoln. Abraham believed that our words and actions are very important. He said, resolve to be honest at all events. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln became the 16th President of the United States. At the time, some people in our country wanted to end slavery. Others didn't. Right. So, in 1860, Abraham Lincoln became the 16th president. So he was number 16. President of the United States was number 16. All right. And he believed that everyone that our words and actions are very important. So if you act good and you talk honest and you be respectful for others, that's very important. People will respect you. People will think that you are a good person. So whatever you do or whatever you say, you need to watch it. You need to make sure that you're doing the right thing and saying the right thing because you want people to see it this way. All right. Think of a person you have read about who has shown honesty. Write his or her name below. So over here, you will talk about a person that you read about. It could be he or she, that they will know about their honesty. Then you write the name here. You can say Abraham Lincoln because you heard and you know that Abraham Lincoln was an honest man. So you can put the name over here. So here's Abraham Lincoln. You can put the name over here. Start with uppercase in both names, first and last, because it's a noun. All right. Focus on honesty. How did Abraham Lincoln become known as Honest Abe? Remember the story, the sketches we saw? When he walked for miles just to return 3 cents, the change for the lady that he's accidentally miscalculating and give her the wrong change. So we were right over here. So how did Abraham Lincoln become known as an honest Abe? Because he returned the woman's change to her. When he knew that he made a mistake, he didn't mind to walk for miles just to return 3 cents because he was honest. So what do you think Abraham Lincoln act like this? Because he believed that, remember what he said, words and action are very important. Okay, I'm gonna wait for a few seconds, then I need to clear, and then I will go up there, scroll up. So why Abraham Lincoln act like this? Because he believed that our words and actions are very important. Very good. What ended when the Civil War ended? We have a civil war. It will come. We'll talk about it soon. But the Civil War here was happening when some people in our country wanted to end slavery, but others didn't. So this is what Abraham Lincoln will do next. Okay. People on the two sides of our country, we are on page 35. People on the two sides of our country fought against each other in a war called the Civil War. Abraham worked to keep our country together during the war. When the Civil War ended, slavery ended too. So the two parts of the country, they were fighting against each other. And when we have the same people from the same country fight together, we call it civil wars. So civil wars mean part of this country, same country, part from the right or from the north or from the south, fight with the other part. Same country. So we call this a civil war. So people from both sides were fighting against each other because some wanted to end the slavery, some didn't. But Abraham worked hard to keep our country together during this war. And when this civil war ended, slavery ended too. So we ended this. Abraham Lincoln helped to end the slavery as well. And when this happened, when the Civil War ended. So when the Civil War was ended, also the slavery was ended. All right. So Abraham Lincoln was the president number 16. Very good. and he did different job. He was working with his dad in a farm, very good. And then he was working in a ship. Then he was working in a post office. He was a soldier, and he was working also in the store. And he was well known for being an honest man. All right. Let's read this part. Franklin Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt became the 32nd President of the United States in 1933. He is the only president to be elected 4 times. So, as you know, any president will be elected twice, but Roosevelt was the only president that was elected 4 times, and he was number 32, or the 32nd president. So he was number 32. There is 31 presidents before Franklin Roosevelt. And we know that Abraham Lincoln was number 16, and he was a president in 1860. But Roosevelt was a president in 1933, and he was elected 4 times. Very good. So now, this is what we, as you see here, part of the picture, the 2 parts of that country, they are fighting against each other, and this war was ended, and when it ended, it also ended that slavery, and we knew that Abraham Lincoln worked hard to keep our country together during this war. Okay, so that's it for today. We learned about being honest, and we saw an example for being honest as Abraham Lincoln, and we also talked about and President Abraham Lincoln was the president number 16, and we talked about Roosevelt, that he was the president. Franklin Roosevelt was the president number 32, and what was so special about him, that he was elected 4 times. All right, that's it for today, first graders. Thank you.